Okay, welcome back to the channel. And if you clicked on this video, you're looking for an easy way to fix your golf swing. Now, it might be a secret out there, it might not, but I think a lot of people lose sight of one of the easiest ways to fix a golf swing, and that's simply to work in opposites. Now, this is a technique that's been used for years. Many of the old great teachers did this long before video, long before books were written. You find a way to work in opposites, and if you work in opposites, you'll find that you will not get lost or confused in all of the maze of information that's out there. Okay, so what do I mean by working in opposites? Well, when it comes to working in opposites, I simply mean that whatever you see on the video, you start to work on making movements that are the opposite of what you see. So, for example, if I'm a slicer and I set up to a golf ball and I set up and my shoulders are turned open this way at address, maybe my grip is very weak with my hands over to the left side of the club like you see here. Those two things usually go together. And I set up like this, and I'm a slicer. If I was to look at the video and not address the ball flight in terms of, or the swing at all, just say, okay, I know I'm slicing, but I'm not going to try to fix the slice just by making a different swing. What could I change that would be the opposite of what I see on my video? So if I'm setting up and I'm looking at the video, I see my shoulders are open and my hands are on this side, I would simply set up in the opposite way. So instead of having my shoulders way off here to the left, I would turn and set up with my shoulders turned more out to the right. When I do that, turn my shoulders more to the right, you'll notice my hands and arms are going to rotate back this direction, which brings my hands over and allows me to grip it in the opposite of this position here, which is more on the other side of the club. So if I'm working in opposites, I already know the way I'm doing it doesn't work. If I backtrack a second, if I already know that my way is not working, I might as well work in an opposite way and see if I can affect the ball flight also in an opposite pattern. So for a slicer that goes from open in this direction to closed back in this direction, I have now changed the likelihood of my path being more from the inside, and I've changed the club face angle from coming down wide open like you see here to a nice square, even slightly closed on the way in. So I've changed the two most critical things for ball flight, path and club face. Haven't even made a swing yet, but I have worked in opposites. I've gone from open this way to back this way. Let's take another example. So let's say my setup is good. Setting up nice and solid here. Got a good setup position, ball position. Back here, I've got a little tilt back behind the ball. Ball's in the front. Good extension. I'm ready to go. Get up to the top here. I wind it up, and I simply unwind with my shoulders spinning over the top. I'm going to cut across that ball and hit a slice. Maybe a baseball player or something like that, where I'm used to winding it and spinning on the back leg, opening up the shoulders too quickly and cutting across with a wide open club face. I look at the video and I would say, okay, this isn't working. I'm clearly slicing. Then what could I see that I could then do the opposite of when it comes to making different movements? So I set up to the ball the same way. What is the opposite of spinning the upper body and staying on my back foot? Well, the opposite would be not spinning my upper body and getting to my left foot. So if my bad swing is wind it, spin over the top with a lot of pressure on my back leg, the opposite is wind it up, shift to the left leg, and don't spin the chest. Let the arms come down while the chest is still waiting to unwind. And what's that going to do? Change my path and give me a chance to change the club face. So here's the player doing the opposite of the spin. He winds it up, slides the hip to the left and wait on the left foot now. Now the chest isn't spinning. I can now come from the inside, get more of an inside out path. Chances are the club face will be open, but once again, I can turn the arms to close it, which would be the opposite of cutting across and not closing. Swinging into out will also get rid of my chicken wing, turn the face over. Now I was fortunate when I first started teaching golf. I worked for 6 years for one of the best instructors in the world. He was the #1 instructor at that time. And he was able to teach this way all the time. We did clinics, we did schools, we did all kinds of outings. And I would watch him go down the line working with players, simply adjusting them in the opposite fashion. If a player was to get set up to the ball and do some movement that opened the face or closed the face or whatever it did, you would simply move them in the opposite motion. As they were moving in an opposite motion, it felt very weird to them, of course. It wasn't their standard movement, but wow, it affected the ball flight very quickly, and they were amazed at how his movements and changing the way it felt could change the ball flight so quickly. Another way to think of it is, think of your golf swing as a car driving down the road. If you're driving down the road and you're simply in the right-hand gutter, you don't need a new engine, or you don't need new seats or a new stereo. You just need to simply turn the wheel to the left to get out of the gutter. It's turning to the right, turn it to the left. You're going to correct the movement. The same thing in a golf swing. You got something happening that you know is incorrect. You see it on the video, or someone points it out to you on the video, then simply try to make the opposite movement. Now you'll find a lot of times if you get a golf lesson, this is where the coach is training you to do a movement that feels very exaggerated. So back to our original setup position, if I'm wide open with my shoulders, and the pro then tells me to get my shoulders all the way back to square or even slightly closed, that's going to feel like a massive exaggeration. It really isn't. It's the opposite, but it's not really an exaggeration. Exaggeration of being open would be way over like this, which wouldn't be correct either. But being slightly closed to counteract the fact you're normally way too far over here would be the opposite movement. So the next time you get out to the range to work on your golf swing, have a buddy video your swing, take a look at it. If you already know your swing, you're ahead of the game already. Try to pick out something either in the beginning, the setup position, or in the movement that you can make the opposite move of. Once you know what your fault is, if it's coming across this way, across the other way, too open, too closed, whatever it might be, too steep, too shallow, then you can start to implement an opposite way of training and be amazed how fast you can fix your ball flight. Even though your swing might feel crazy, your swing might feel really weird, wait till you see it on video. You'll be amazed how normal it looks and how good the ball flies. Well, thanks for watching this video, and I hope it made sense to you. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below, and we'll see you in the next video.